Now then, how are we all doing? Hopefully, a little bit better than I have been. So, there's been a distinct lack of activity from me, which I will show you via the old Strava app shortly. Um, to just to fill you in anyway. So the last video that I did, I ended with the TAD 10, which went really well, and I did feel like I was starting to make some progress. But as you can see from the screen here that I've got up here, hopefully, if I figured it out, it's not gone so well since then. So what happened? Well, I had a little bit of a more relaxed week the week after the race, just purely because the legs had had it. That was the hardest I'd pushed on a race for quite some time. And so I really felt it, and I just thought, excuse me, I really felt it, and I just thought it would probably do me no harm to take it easy that week. So Tuesday was supposed to be an easy run, but I went out with the running club, and the run leader decided to take us to the highest point in Keighley for some reason after asking how the race went. Obviously you can see that on here. It only says elevation gain of 689 feet, but that was like within the first 10 minutes, so it would just quite the climb. Cracking view. The instruction was run until you run out of hill. Fucking hell. If I pull analysis up here, you can see that, look. So by mile 2, we'd reached the peak of it. So that was that. So again, that didn't really help the legs. And then on the Wednesday, I decided, stuff it, let's rest. Thursday, we went in and it was track day. So I did do little bits of videos on these, which I'll probably just sort of like dot around here. I didn't video this because obviously, as I mentioned before, it's in the school grounds, they're all playing football and things like that. Don't want loads of angry parents chasing me around. This is part of the KCAC 5K thing that we're doing. So that night was 7 times 600s, which I did slightly faster than I was supposed to do. Which was good. I can't remember what I was doing. I can't remember what we're doing. I mean, I just can't remember what my times were, but I know that they were above where they should have been. I think I was supposed to be like in the low 7s, and I were in the high 6s for those. So not a bad run, but again, I decided Friday I was knackered, so I didn't bother doing anything. And then Saturday came round, and this was Crossflats Park Run, which if you are in the area, would definitely recommend anybody go to. I did do a video about that. If I figured out how to do links, I'll do a link up here. Who knows? I'll probably take you somewhere completely different where you shouldn't be, but who knows? So anyway, yeah, you can see there, I took some cracking pictures, met some lovely people there. Definitely one of the faster courses I would said round here. There's a bit of a decent down and a nice steady up, and only really a bit of a kicker to that to tire your legs out. So that was good fun, and as you can see there, speed went up through it, and yeah, so I was happy with that. Then that night I went out, part of our Wales Sports Christmas do, and had a meal and went and played bowling, which apparently I can't do. Who would have thunk it? Yeah, so I'm terrible at throwing balls down a thing and hitting things. So I won't be doing that again in there, right? If it were a Wii, I would have done it really well. Early 2000s, I was a master at that. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. It's not what I'm here for. So anyway, I ended up getting food poisoning. I had a lukewarm meal brought to me. I should have sent it back. I mean, kitchen were literally just over my shoulder. I could feel the heat from that. That was, in fact, the heat coming from kitchen were warmer than the meal that were put in front of me. But I was that hungry at that time, and I'd had a few drinks. So I just shoved it in my gob. So then I was really sick. I booked this next week commencing the 27th off. And as you can see there, it proper nosedives. There's not really much in the way of activity. That's because I was the sickest I've probably ever been. I did not feel well at all. So I went, my first run after that weekend was the following Thursday, which again is with KCAC. 5.3 miles there, which included 2 times 10 mins tempo. But they were very, very careful tempos because the ground was frozen, really frozen. And towards the end of the out and back that we did, towards the end of the out, the ground just, I don't think any sun had been hitting it through the day, so it was just slippy, and yeah, I get scared easy. So I steadied off there, which I think my heart were a bit happy about anyway. So 2 times 10 mins tempo and a jog back to the club. That went really well. I'm just seeing if I can see what my paces there were. I don't like, if I look on Garmin, it always tells me my actual pace, whereas on Strava for some reason, it does this where it sort of like, I don't know, it makes it look like you've been going a bit slower, I think. Anyway, I might have been going like that, but I know that I was sort of top end 7s as opposed to low end 8s for that. Not that it really matters. Went really well. I enjoyed it. But then I felt so unwell again. Stomach cramps and what have you. So obviously I hadn't recovered well enough. My Garmin watch had been telling me all week that my body was stressed and I needed to stop. I was really, really peeved because, like I said, booked the week off work so I could get my Christmas tree up, which I'll show you. Anyway, I did that. So yeah, that was good. So the next run after that was on Sunday, which, as you can see there, I don't need to say it out loud because you can see through, from the title of what I've called it. I went on the treadmill because I didn't go outside, not because of the weather, not because it were blowing a gale, which I think it probably will have been because it doesn't seem to be doing anything else at the minute, but because I needed to be by a toilet. I've just been honest. And it was a nice easy run, but it didn't feel easy. So I knew that I still wasn't well. But we were recovering after that. Then, so that brings you pretty much up to this week. So I'm not going to do the whole wait a week thing. I might as well talk you through what happened this week as well. I didn't really video much because I've not been in the game, if I'm honest with you. And I need to be. So if I bring it up to speed, everybody knows what's happening. I've done my video edit, I've put it online, and then next week is a new week, and that's what we're here for, in that positivity and moving forward, which is what I'm doing. So KCAC run, where was that? Oh yeah, this was just round where I used to live. So I went with the Steadier group that night, and I think I did a bit of video in. I'll find it and put it up here because we ran through Keighley. And all the Christmas lights were on, and I'm just here for that, if I'm honest. That's what I'm all about, Christmas lights, twinkly things. So really enjoyed that run. It was just nice and steady, which obviously made me really happy. I don't know if you've noticed down here as well, I've got some Mizuno Wave shoes. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Mizuno, whatever. Finally retiring the Skechers that I did a review on previously after running 500 odd miles in those. Exceptional shoes. If anybody's thinking about getting some, click on the review somewhere. I'll try and link it again. Be careful what you click on mine. Could be sending you anywhere. But yeah, they still feel brilliant. I mean, I say I retired them. I actually went out running in them the weekend because it was slogging down like it always does recently. And I was doing a park run, which I'll get to in a second. I was doing a park run in the morning, and I knew that my shoes were just going to be drenched for the afternoon, and I had a race that afternoon. So yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. But they still felt brilliant. So that was Tuesday. Then I did nothing, waited till Thursday, just building myself back up steady. and it was back on the track, and this time it was 800s. Again, slightly faster than planned, but felt strong. That's pretty much it, really. So, yeah, there's been a bit of an illness setback. Yeah, I haven't done as well as I wanted to do. However, um, I'm not going to lie, I can feel the difference. I can definitely see the difference. The speed is happening, it's getting there. I just need the endurance to follow. So, but it will. I have every confidence it will. Poor Garmin Greg, I'm not sure he does. In fact, I'll take a screenshot of him. He's lost all faith in me. He's about to come out of green and into whatever colour before it is, which I think's funny. I'll win him over, don't you worry. Anyway, so that were 800s. Again, did those faster than... Emma tells us what times we should be aiming for what we're wanting. And I think I was coming in about 10 seconds faster. But consistently, I didn't sort of like ease off. As you can see there, look. I stayed below the 7s. So I think we're at 648 were my average for each one of those. So obviously Garmin, Strava's done its little bit there again to make me feel bad about it, but it was faster than that. So that was good. So enjoyed that. And then that brings us up to this weekend. So my legs today are trash. It's now Sunday. Just about to put this to edit with all the other stuff. But I haven't done anything today because my legs at the top again have just been a little bit too tired, and I don't want to go get myself all injured. I would just put a little shot up there of it shows you on Garmin, not Garmin. I mean Garmin's pretty much the same. Don't I waffle a lot? I am sorry. Anyway, Strava shows you sort of like your week's effort, and this week's effort is higher than the previous by quite a lot, obviously. And so whenever I do have these dips, I do try and build back up gradually as opposed to just throwing myself straight back into it and hitting those slightly higher mileage weeks, because I know that that's the way that you get injured. So I have taken it a bit steadier. However, yesterday, I'll just click on that. You can see here, we've got Lister Park, Bradford Park run in the morning, which was brilliant, but it was absolutely tipping down. And when I say tipping down, I don't think I've ever run in a downpour like it. I don't think there were an area of me that wasn't wet at the end of that. I'm glad I got it done, but I don't know why I did it. I could have quite easily stayed in car and not. So that was that. We're a nice steady plod round, but Garmin Greg wanted me to do a set of strides, so I did that in with it, to be fair. I thought, well, it'd just be nice, I can take it really steady and then do my strides through it, and just make a few people thinking that I'm putting some effort in while I'm whizzing past them, only to just stop meters away in front of them. So that's what I did. That went well. Then the next one was Gathering Winterfools. Been looking forward to this one, and the thumbnail will probably be the costumes anyway, but it was leg 4 Gathering Winterfools, which is a Keighley and Craven Athletics Club, KCAC, you'll hear me say all the time. It's one of their races that they do. And so we did leg 4, which was absolutely horrific. Well, the climb in it was up Alter Lane from Bingley, which is just round the corner from here. So you come up over Alter Lane and then drop back down into Keighley and to the club. But that climb up was terrible. And the drop down, you can see there, it's just a steep drop down. I had my On Cloud shoes on. They weren't trail ones, but I didn't think I was going to need them to be. But the descent was so steep and my feet were so wet, they'd managed to roll up the insole for the descent down, so my toes were getting crushed at the bottom, so we had to stop when I got to the flat part at the bottom so that I could put them back. Anyway, you can see there we practically stopped going up the hill and then came down at an alright pace and just steadied away back to the club for that race. And we did all that dressed as Mario and Luigi, look. As you can see there, we've both got padded bellies. Not quite sure I needed a padded belly in mine. Just a couple of shots of us, which my sister took while she was when she dropped us off, just on there. So that was yesterday, which gave us a collective 11 miles. So I've taken that as today's long run. Garmin Greg did want me to do speed repeats today, and he's chucked me a long run in tomorrow. So I'm just going to see how the legs are tomorrow and get the long run done and skip past the speed repeats, purely because on Thursday I essentially did some anyway. But next week it starts again, only it starts properly this time. I'm going to pay more attention to what Garmin Greg tells me to do, because I want my little green meter to go back up. And I want to do well at this. And I'm getting really, really frustrated that we are now, how many weeks into this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into this. So 10 weeks I've got left. 6 weeks. Now I won't say they're wasted, but I've only got 10 weeks left now to make some real difference to my fitness, my weight. I'm not getting weighed today because it's too late in the day. And you fluctuate, so I don't know where it'll be, and it won't be a true reflection. It's always got to be in morning. It's just got to be after I've taken all my clothes off and been to the toilet. Anyway, that's me. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. Don't forget to drop us a quick like, and by all means feel free to comment. Don't be mean. Please. I know I'm useless at this. I will get better. Stick with it. I'm sure we're going to do this, and I'm sure we're going to have a fast half marathon. In fact, I'm more than positive I'm going to have a fast half marathon. We just need to get past this little blip. And if the weather had just stopped being so pissy and windy and just calm it a little bit. Calm it. I'm sick of all this ice. And when it isn't icy, it's just blowing me over. I honestly, I just thought to myself other night when I was going to sleep, I can't wait to find out where I wake up in the morning, because I thought I'm going to be somewhere with a witch under my house. It was just horrific. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling. Thank you for sticking it through to the end, and I will see you next week.